Well, hi YouTube. This is Mother Hubbard's. It's been here about a year. Chain of chip shops on Tallow Hill, trading estate, industrial estate, Worcester. Decided to do this after years. Right. So I'm going to give a running commentary about what goes on and what's been going on.
Get there. Oh, buddy.
Oh, no.
What was that?
This is the Hereford and Worcester Canal. Birmingham's that way. Perth as well, then Birmingham. Down to Diglis Basin that way. And that's the other side of the trading estate. Farm Foods, Subway, and over the road there, St Martin's Quarter with Asda multi-storey car park. So, this area is rife with Class A drug use. The police bust dealers, usually on this canal towpath or in this area, every now and then. Okay. There's a lot of drinking. It's supposed to be a no alcohol zone. That little white thing, I don't know if you can read it, probably not, no you can't. It says no alcohol, tiny little sign. But the whole area is supposed to be no alcohol. But that doesn't stop them. And I'll say now, get it out of the way, the police, the Safer Neighbourhood team, you know, the regular cops, whatever, you don't really see them in the area now unless it's to turn up for an incident and mop up. They used to patrol the area more. Not that they stop people drinking as such. Just like, carry on lads, the hardcore alcoholics. Yeah. I worked with Bethel Ministries through St Paul's Church 10 years ago. They're a Spanish rehab. Because there was a lot of heroin addicts in Spain, so they set up a Christian rehab, Bethel Ministries, and they have got the former Cadbury site in Birmingham, which they have rent-free, and they've got a rehab there for men and women. They've been there years. Well, they came to Worcester because they saw the dire state of Worcester with the street drinking, drugging, the homeless, and they didn't know the street. They didn't know the lie of the land here, so they wanted somebody from one of the churches to show them, lead them round once a week, like on a Thursday evening or something, for a couple of hours, handing out sandwiches, tea and coffee, and giving people an option if they want to get off the streets and go into rehab and have somewhere to live. Bethel Ministries run several businesses, including a furniture renovation, and a lot of the guys I've met who were going through the scheme, the rehab, they were all sorts of lads. They were even on alternative to prison. You either go in Bethel Ministries in Birmingham for a year, or you go to prison for 5 years or 10 years or whatever. And some of the lads changed their lives. Right, anyway, yeah, Bethel Ministries, they were here for about a year or two, and then they stopped coming. I asked them why, and they said they gave Worcester up as a lost cause, because in their own words they said this is the only city, this is the worst city, and really the only city, the only place in the Midlands we go to, and we've been all over and outside the Midlands, where people are just like drinking in the streets, and the police are just turning a blind eye. How can that be? You know, it's staggering. So that's why they gave up, basically, the police. This is talking 10 years ago now, just largely ignoring the problem, looking the other way. So anyway, a woman died here during that time. Her name was Anne Green. Got to know her. She wasn't homeless. She was in like a shared house, B&B. She had somewhere to live, but she spent a lot of time on the streets drinking with a crowd now, who most of them are dead. But she was about 40ish, I think. Well, her body was found here, right here, at 7 o'clock in the morning, around 7 in the morning, by Wicks's staff who turned up to open up for work. Obviously, this is Wicks's here, Wicks's DIY superstore. There you go. So they found her body. There was an inquest. The coroner said she'd been dead for hours. It wasn't winter, it was around autumn, but they said because of the poor state of her physical health, it probably contributed to her dying of exposure. She used to sleep out here because when the street drinkers had gone home or whatever gone, she hung about here. Unfortunately, she died in her sleep, and her boyfriend at the time, Pete, who was one of them, he put this on the wall. It's still here. Pete, love Annie. And again here, love Pete. Some of it's been scrolled out. Pete, Pete, Pete. Yeah, you can see it there. Annie. Yeah, I just noticed. A-N-N-I-E. Annie. And it's all over here. Pete, love Annie, scratched in the bricks. Nothing changed in the area really. The police made a sort of a statement because they had to, like, that it's difficult to deal with. Yeah, right. So I'll just show you down here. This is where a lot of, well, crack taking. I see people when I pass through because it's a shortcut to where I live. You see people smoking crack in coke cans, crack pipes, homemade crack pipes here, and drinking here, a lot of drinking. I've seen people openly injecting heroin or whatever it is they're taking with a syringe, openly injecting into their groin area with their pants pulled down. I've seen women, I've cycled past women in the daytime too, women, one of them who had her knickers round her ankles, lay on the floor, and her friend was helping her find a vein, I suppose, in her groin, and I just carried on. Yeah. So I'll just show you the rest of it, where it happens. When Annie died, she was with a group of people we called the fire people, because they used to have a fire here. Stay here till the early hours drinking. The police would leave them alone. It was around the time the police started turning a blind eye, because obviously things were getting worse, and the police just gave up largely. There was a point before 10 years ago, like 15, 16, 17, 20 years ago, the police regularly used to come down here under plain clothes and tell them to move on. But yeah, they have fires here now, as you can see. That's there's businesses over there. And that road there, this is a cul-de-sac obviously, that's a trading estate down there, just to the left of that shipping container. And up the hill there, up there is a bit of a hill, and it leads to Shrub Hill Station. Right, this isn't the canal footbridge you saw. The train track, the trains used to go over here. There actually used to be a railway bridge, but they turned it into a footbridge. Shrub Hill's being developed, massive development, and this is going to be developed as a quick route into town, a shortcut for pedestrians, which it is. A lot of locals won't come down here because of what goes on, what I've been saying. But I guess all that will have to change. Then the authorities, it'll be political. They'll be forced to to do something, I guess. This is where they used to have the fires here, the fire people 10 years ago. One of them, I can't remember his name, Steve from Kidderminster, got to know him pretty well, good lad. He's dead, but that was injecting speed. It killed him, but he was mainly a drinker. Was an alcoholic, he was. I went to his funeral in Kiddy. I've been to quite a few funerals of people that are just like on the streets doing their thing. The drinking still goes on here. There's kids here as well, like school kids, school girls like 12, 13, 14. This is one of the places they drink their alco pops and vodka, and the police turn a blind eye. Phoning them does nothing, in case any of you are wondering, because look at this. Yeah. It's hard to see in the light. That's just rotting stuff, clothes, beer cans, drink cans, and that down there leads to the I forget the name of it, but it's you turn left and it's you go past the bus station, which is through there, and it leads them to loads more. What was I going to say? Yeah, talking about kids, I put a video on my channel, I don't know, a few years ago. Saw some, basically some kids, a girl, I don't know, 10, 11, with a boy, sat on the bench in town rolling round, and what it was, they were walking up the dual carriageway in the road. Previously, I'd gone down to the 24-hour garage, the Texaco, to get some milk, and I saw these kids out their skulls in the road rolling round, falling over, and you know, there's nonces out there, real nonces, who will accost them. Yeah, and there's nutters walking round at night. Yeah, out their skulls, some of them, you know, and so it's a dangerous time for kids. Time of night for kids like 12-year-olds to be wandering around high on something. So I phoned the cops, and the kids carried on walking, and they sat on that bench. I'm going to put the video back on. I'll go through this again, but I'm mentioning it now because I didn't explain, and obviously I've been called a nonce for sticking that video on because I film kids. It was me, you dumb fucks, who phoned the police and waited there until the police turned up to protect those kids. And I just wonder what sort of parents or parent they've got, that their children are walking round off their heads on something at 2 in the morning in the middle of Worcester. So yeah, the cops turned up on the video, so job done. Right, so that's about it. All dozens and dozens of cans down there. I don't know if you can see them. They party down there on the canal bank. The Canal Trust comes along with the team and clears all this mess up from time to time. So anyway, yeah. That's it for now.